Is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology retold action. This morning on the left side of the map, the red color, playing as Uranus. His name is Grass. His opponent today in the blue color, playing as Kronos. It's everyone's favorite creative Age of Mythology retold player. It is Suppe. The map is Elysium. And we are off to the races. Off to the races in a big, big way. This is the Wrath of the Gods retold quarterfinals, semifinals, quarterfinals, semifinals, quarterfinals. I believe it's the quarterfinals of the retold Wrath of the Gods tournament here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just trying to catch up. You know how it is. I'm always on the up and up to some degree, but we'll see how things are going to go in this matchup. Suppe versus Grass here. Very, very anticipated matchup for me personally, because the more I watch, the more I start to notice exactly where everyone is. And Suppe, he is a strategic genius. Grass, he's a youngster. So he's got a lot to learn. Will the teacher inside of Suppe be able to teach a lesson to Grass, or will Grass say, not this day, teach, I know it all? That's the big question on everyone's mind. But Uranus versus Kronos, I've played this matchup a little bit myself, and I come to my own conclusions. Whether they're accurate or not, I'll leave them up to you to decide. But I really, really like Uranus in this matchup, just on the fact you get that extra little bit of favor income, and you can go into those Prometheans in a much, much bigger way than Kronos can. So both players can go into a lot of Prometheans, but then you also have to deal with Shockwave, and you also have to deal with Valor, and you also have to deal with lots more Chaoses coming your way. It's just the favor income is so good. So it's going to be important for both players to be harassing Oracles, killing Oracles, and limiting, as we are going to be seeing the Prometheus coming through for Grass. I don't think there's all too many surprises over there. And on the other side for Suppe, he is also going to be going through Prometheus. Oracle situation, let's get that count on at the moment. Suppe with only 3 Oracles out, not producing anymore. And the same too here for our main man, Grass, as both players deciding to just take it a little bit slow in the early stages of the game, as the temple for Suppe will be making its way nice and far forward here. Does Grass see this? He does. It's very, very clear what's coming here, as the villagers moving forward, and they're literally just sitting in front of this temple just going, what are you going to do? Show me. I don't care. I've got Valors. I'll be fine. The Grass looks like he's going to be hitting both players are going to be hitting the Classical Age at the same time, as the Golden Lions will be moving forward here. Suppe charges in with those, and the citizens are simply just going to pull back. Prometheans will spawn, and Suppe is going to be on the offensive here. We do see a little cheeky Oracle on this spot gets spotted, but I don't know if Suppe would have noticed that on his mini-map or not. As the Promethean coming onto this back wood line here, Grass has already got himself out a Promethean, as well as the Valors can get chucked down here at any point and just be used as a defensive mechanism. But for the moment, both players just holding off on using those Valors, potentially wanting to save it for a little bit more value on a low HP military unit or something else, as the Prometheans decide to charge forward here. But the defense here is solid. 1 Promethean down. Temple is getting brought back home. He has to put these relics back into it. He's got Bow of Artemis and Chariot of Cybele, both very, very good relics there to be having, as Grass comes back in with Harmonia's Necklace, another good relic over there for himself to hold on to. As Suppe just simply going to be pulling back into his main base, and we're going to see the Terma coming through, we're going to be seeing the Murmillo coming through, and all of the other good stuff. There's 1 Promethean. Looks like it's going to be getting sniped down as he's trying to pull him back. It does manage to get back here, but now Grass is going to be on the offensive in a big way. It looks like he's had the buildings up that little bit faster than Suppe. Suppe, on the other hand, he's already up to 5 Oracles. Who's getting more favor? The 3 Oracles at 0.07, or these ones of 0.06? Well, they're both at 0.07, really? Hold on. Oh, those are all Grasses. Okay, 0.06. There we go. Much better. Suppe already up to 6 Oracles now at this point, as he's starting to get out a couple of Termas. Getting out the temple, with a second temple at some point to spam out that favor is definitely going to be on the cards for Suppe moving forward. Grass, on the other hand, just playing a very, very slow defensive game here. And we'll see how it starts to move forward as the units of Grass just hanging back, thinking about what they want to do. And Suppe, on the other hand, is now starting to get Terma heroes out, now starting to get all the good stuff out. Over here, the Promethean offspring trying to cause a little bit of problems on the back. Could force out a hero citizen, but I think the villagers are just simply going to shank that down. And that's advantage villager, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, the big problem here for Grass that he has to overcome is going to be all the favor income that Suppe's got. If we take a quick look at the minimap of Grass, he's got no idea that all these oracles out. We do see one moving over onto this side. But Grass here, he's got to start getting some kills in because Suppe is already queued up 2 Prometheans, a couple of Murmillo coming out as well, lots of resources in the bank to spend. Population differential is favoring Grass at the moment, as Grass will be taking this fight. He does have a couple of hero units, but immediately going to be targeting those down with his own Terma. The Terma of Grass going to be very, very strong here. Big shockwave onto those Terma onto the back line as Suppe maybe bit off a little bit more than he could chew with this fight. A little bit too many oracles potentially here, but they're still all alive. He's going to pull back into his main base. Town Center Fire here is going to be a big support moving forward. And on the other hand here, Grass has got a lot of dudes in the, a lot of favor in the bank here, so he can produce his own Prometheans moving forward very, very shortly. There's another Promethean. Gonna be popping out. Little bit of a throw onto that one. Great dodge by Suppe there. Absolutely great dodge. As now he's going to be charging through again. There's still this one hero Murmillo, which is going to cause some problems here as both players just trying to dodge their way through here. Funnily enough, the best way to do this, I would say, is as soon as your opponent shoots the arrow, you want to stop, you want to keep moving and then shoot after the unit misses. And then you can kind of actually dodge those arrows a little bit. But Suppe here is still not managing to get out of his base and managing to get a good trade here. But the big thing is every time he loses one of these Prometheans, they're going to give him back food, give him back resources. So he's actually, in taking these fights and not actually getting outright destroyed, the Prometheans are giving him more resources to play with. So in a way, yes, Grass is winning these fights, but in a way, Suppe is getting the economic advantage even more so moving forward as we see he's up to 73 favor already here. Suppe does lose an Oracle somewhere onto the bottom side here as a Murmillo going to be coming through. One thing I'd love to see from Suppe is just utilizing the time shift on these manas to just protect his Oracles. There's this Murmillo looking to come forward as we see Hyperion now queued up though for Grass, and this means, well, Grass can now get Satyrs. Satyrs very, very strong. Murmillo still searching around, misses this Oracle here. As the Murmillo now spotting it, going to come after that, and this one has to run all the way back home. Obviously, he could time shift a mana in and actually keep this one alive, but he's going to bring his units over here and deal with this. No problems. Oracle going to live. Murmillo going to die. GG. As we see some sky passages moving up to the left side of the map, but the oracles are everywhere here. Suppe's basically got line of sight on everything important moving forward. An oracle over here for Grass looks like it's going to get sniped down. And it's never really too late at any point to start building oracles. It's effectively like you're just saying, I've got a free town center here for around about a minute, 2 minutes. And you just say, great. It's kind of like having a dock in a way, to just get yourself those extra stuff, those extra things. As the Oracle here trying to trade itself for a citizen, but the Sky Passage finishes. Oracle is going to go down. And Suppe here, who is looking like he's going very, very all in this classical age, is going to have to get up to this top side and put a stop to this gold mining going on as Grass finishes up his Sky Passage over here. We see another mana coming up. Lots and lots of military barracks on this position here to produce, I don't know what. He's going for Contarius, it seems. At some point as well, Grass needs to just go, I'm going to make a whole bunch of heroes then. If he's going to, like, want to use his favor at some point. But now we see Suppe moving up to the top side. Walls going down to the bottom. The best way to deal with Sky Passage shenanigans is walls. He's going to be completely fine there as the unit's going to be charging up here to try and take out the Sky Passage. Deconstruction coming down, and the villagers get caught out here as Grass felt like he was very, very safe. The Shockwave is not going to be saving him here as not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 citizens fall. And now Soup's Gold Starve is going to commence. But Grass here has now got those heavy Contarius out already. He's going to be charging forward to try and get a little bit of damage done as units swinging around to the bottom side. Going to see if we can get in here and deal with this over here. As a Promethean going to get some good damage. Got that Terma getting targeted down. There's the Chaos coming in. Does Soup care or not? There's really not that many heroes here. I don't think he needs to care as he's got so many Promethean. They're just going to get so much value here. Even losing them, but dealing the damage is going to be absolutely key as Grass trying to micro those Terma in, but they're all falling. Population for Soup is absolutely stonking in this fight here as Grass absolutely needs to retreat back. We've got the walls coming down from Soup even more. He's still pumping out those Prometheans, but he's still only got that 1 temple up, so he could have even more here if he really wanted to, as the Satyr on the back going to get sniped down. He does get 1 shot off or 2 shots off before falling there, but in the main base there's just not that much remaining, and Soup now will have to deal with Satyrs. Now Satyrs can beat these Prometheans because the Prometheans have only got 35% PS armor. Yes, they've got 25% hack armor, but the Satyrs should be able to get a huge amount of damage done if you have enough of them with that upgrade Gemino to get the bonus damage coming out of that special attack. You're going to be able to snipe these down. So this must be the plan here for Grass, but I don't think he executed it all too well. There it's coming in. Gemini. I feel like they changed this. Gemini. Nonetheless. The things you notice after so long, but at the moment Grass is currently gold starved. He's going to have to figure out a way out of his base very, very shortly as the Contarius getting pushed back. And the Satyr slowly starting to run forward here. It's a bit of splash damage onto those Terma before retreating back, and lots more Contarius still coming out. So, I mean, Soup here, he could consider just getting out some Catapulties here as well, as that will deal with all of this. But I mean, another option here is just to go Heroic Age, get access to your own Chaos, and also all of your Myth units are going to start becoming even more strong. And oh my god, Soup's done it again.
Skopos, Herjos, Burek. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
And a town center. This guy's crazy. Villagers coming forward. The walls are already up. Oh, this one's not. He can make it through here, but Grass recognizes this. He's going to make his way down to the bottom side of the map. He's going to kill off this wall. He will alert Grass. Well, Grass will alert Soup to his presence down here, but at least he's got some gold income to be coming through. And just look at this. His favor income is about to go absolutely crazy. Quickest way if you guys want to get better at this is make sure you have a scout hotkey, and then you can cycle through all of these, and then you can just make sure they're all in the right position. You just have to do it once, and then it's all done. And yeah, you're in a really good spot. As the army here for Soup now starting to move forward. I mean, he could just wait on the next fight here, as those Satyrs are very, very strong. Look at the dead Terma 2 just falling. There are lots of low HP units. Soup going to be charging in here nonetheless, as will the Prometheans be enough to take this fight? It's looking like Soup is saying he does not like this one. The Satyrs are too much on the back position there. Soup going to pull back, but the other thing is that once Hyperion comes in, Soup's going to be able to make even more Satyr than Grass has. So if the Satyr are the answer to the Promethean, then you've still got to deal with the Satyr coming. Nonetheless, counter barracks coming up all over the place, and we do now see the Catapulties starting to come through for Soup. Soup can drop that Chaos down immediately there as well. More Promethean are coming in. Can he get onto those Satyr at the back? Looks like he will be able to do so with a couple of Promethean and the Hero Terma. Grass feeling like he's got a good advantage in this fight. The population is looking very, very close, but Grass is floating above in population for the time being. But is it going to matter or not, as the population is going to be dropping incredibly quick in the middle of that fight, as the Promethean look like they're going to be overwhelming here for Grass. And in that moment, Grass decides to tap out. GG, well played by Soup. And what can be said that hasn't already been said about Soup's craziness with these gods? He's clearly showing why what he's doing is so strong. He's like, no, you just have to get these oracles out. It's absolutely worth it. You get so many myth units. It's so strong. The only way to get advantage against this is to be actively hunting down oracles all throughout the game. And even then, I wager that Kronos, he can just put manas down. How many manas do you actually get? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 manas, right? So you can protect 8 oracles on the map from little tiny raids. So it makes it really, really hard to kill them off. It's just very, 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 very strong here for the Kronos. Insane gameplay here. Let's just take a quick look at the timeline here and just take a look at this favor income of Soup. It starts off relatively equal, and then Soup just goes into the stratosphere. He's over 100 favor in front of Grass. If we take a look at the resources collected graph as well, I mean, it's kind of close. Soup is for some reason in front here at the start of the game as well. But nonetheless, Soup finds the win. Goes up 1-0. It's best of 5 here. We'll get game number 2 going. If you're enjoying the tournament, if you're enjoying the content, don't forget to follow on the Twitch. If you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe. And we'll see you in the next game. Game number 2, ladies and gentlemen. In the left side of the map, in the red color, playing as Odin, his name is Grass. And in the blue color, playing as Hades, his name is Soup. Currently 1-0 for Soup, taking that first game with some very, very stylish Kronos play. We'll see if he can keep this style up going into game number 2 here with the Hades, or if Grass is going to be able to equalize here. The map, you already know. It's Land Unknown. Man, this map is so much fun. You just don't know what you're going to get. Let's look down here. Both players get this weird hunt in this little canyon here. How sick does this look? Oh my god. So easy to defend this as well. That's different hunt. We've got boar over here, and we've got caribou and stuff. Looks like Grass is going to spot this. He's going to be like, oh, that's nice. Let me maybe wall that off and enjoy that for the time being. But yeah, it's really important to just get around and scout and just see what you're dealing with. So both players will scout, and they're going to start realizing, well, it's a pretty open map. Okay, so we're going to have to play that style of gameplay moving forward. Taking a look at the gold mines, both players have got fairly equal gold mines kind of lying around here. Got some nice relics here, Rhea's crown as well. So yeah, I don't actually know. It's like, it's an open map. It's a big map, but it's back gold. So what does that mean? Well, back gold generally means you can play a really defensive game. You can go for fast second town centers, no problems. But a big map means you can go for raids, which Hades not very good at. Odin obviously very, very strong at. So we'll see how things are going to go. Checking out more of these relics. We've got that Amble for Firestis. It's looking like a lot on this map, 4 on the map at the moment. We've also got that Adamantine Shingles here to boost the house hit points up. And over here we've got Thundercloud Shawl on the human soldiers and heroes. Very, very strong. My Soup still going to be checking around, looking for a little something to spot. See exactly what Grass is going to be going for. Grass kind of taking his time in this classical age. He hasn't got himself hand axe or pickaxe just yet. He's just going for a later advance time, it looks like. Another dwarf going to be coming through, It looks like, was that 8 villages over here? 7 villages over here?
Yeah.
5 on wood. And just a couple more on to go. Such a late advance here from Grass. That's kind of insane. I wonder what his plan is here. Because generally speaking, Norse players advance at 4 minutes. Did he get 2 berserks? Not 2 berserks, no. We'll take a look at the line of sight and what he's seen. He's scouted a lot of the map. He sees how safe and defensive this position is back here, so he's going to be setting up for that. But obviously, he's got to be thinking, well, if it's safe for me, it's also safe for my opponent. So this might be a really, really long game here, guys. Villagers now moving up into the center of the map here. Going to be looking to grab these elk here and just enjoy that. But even so, Soup went for a near 5-minute advance time. If you can see my face right now, I'm making one of those stank faces. You know what I mean. Villagers grabbing some elk over on this position. I mean, it's just so wild how different this game is looking to every game I've ever seen in Age of Mythology so far. Both players just like not really caring about any sort of early pressure and just in the center of the map enjoying. Freya comes through 4:30 and Athena still not in. This Valkyrie might find value in the early stages of this game. Berserk coming through. We are seeing the villagers turning around, getting some nice shanks on there. There's a bit of a cheeky forest fire over there as the villagers have to retreat back. The Ajax can get over here in position and kind of defend against those Valkyrie raids. It doesn't look like to me that Grass has managed to spot where the food gathering shenanigans are. So the Valkyrie moving up to the top side here gets a little bit unlucky. No food villagers over here, no nothing. And he's going to be searching for some villagers to kill, but I'm sure there's going to be an Achilles coming out very quickly. And I guess the next question here is, what's Soup going for? Double military academy, archery range. That's the plan. Valkyries now starting to get that little bit of damage done into the main base. Soup has reacted nice and quick here. Which one does he go for? It looks like he's going to be able to be safe here running back into the town center. Villagers can move back into position. In the main base here for Grass, he's going for double longhouse and then into the Great Hall. As the Achilles Ajax slowly starting to come forward. And we are going to be seeing him putting a little bit of harassment here into the center of the map because there's not really anything here. And this is exactly what he's going to need. You have to also remember that Grass has got himself great hunt, so he can definitely retreat back and it's completely fine as the HUSKSUPPE come through, get one big bash. And then the units are just going to simply be out of here. But Grass still isn't up to like that full pop here that he probably could be. He hasn't quite spent all of his resources. Now he's going to be going through it and trying to get some sort of an advantage. But this just means here that Soup, on the other hand, he might be able to find something here in the early game, which normally he might not be able to do so, but he's going for it nonetheless. Minotaur sort of open to get a couple of whacks here for free from the, not necessarily for free, but in a big way early stages of the game. Not going to lose a HUSKSUPPE to turn around and just get a whack on the Minotaur. Got to be careful with it. But Grass just hanging out on the back here. And Soup now looking to break through onto the bottom side of the map and see if he can come over there and take out those villagers. There's a raiding cavalry Valkyrie going to be looking to get a little bit of pressure over here. Looks like the hoplite might get taken out. But the walls will go down and he's going to at least open up this position. We see the Ajax searching down to the bottom side there for something as the Achilles will be able to take out that Valkyrie, but the raiding cavalry on top of the thrown action is going to be absolutely huge. And Soup here, he probably has to retreat at this point. The units here for Grass are really, really good, but instead he's going to decide to stay in here, chuck that restoration down. And Grass retreats back. I think Grass can continue to fight this. He's in such a strong, healthy position in terms of population numbers, but he's just going to pull back. He can wait on that heal to get him back up to full HP. Up on this position, we do see the village have been spotted there by the House of Grass, so he might be able to find something. We are seeing cheeky little walls coming down over here to try and block him in for the time being. Soup is being pretty greedy on that food. He does have the food up at the top side of the map as well, but there's a Raven hanging over there to make sure that he spots if that comes or not. Achilles up onto this spot, searching for the side build, and he does indeed spot it, and he will indeed be stopping it for, no, maybe not. Looks like the longhouse will get up here. It's going to be a little bit annoying. Toxodian as well, as that's going to probably be a dead berserk. No. Oh. I didn't realize the wall would tank the arrows. I've never seen that. If you shoot directly into... I could be wrong, but walls might be really, really strong as like a building to throw into a mid-fight. Just saying. Just saying. One villager down. Great micro there from Grass. They block siege shots too. Wow. That's wild. Nice little wall up onto this spot to allow Soup to get this position very nicely. But if you send enough units up here, it could be you're trapped in here with me rather than I'm keeping you out sort of situation. Town center coming down for Soup as well. As the raiding cavalry will be up here, but the walls will be finished. Will Grass notice this in time is the question or not? No, he's not quick enough. The villagers will be able to out-repair this for a very long time. Yeah, they're out-repairing. What do you guys reckon about this? I think it's kind of fair, but also I think it's kind of ridiculous at the same time. Nonetheless, units down to the bottom side of the map here. Villages will be getting pushed back. Town center is going to be finishing up here for Soup as the villagers retreat back up to this spot. We see the walls coming down as the villagers are going to attempt to stay alive here. Villagers coming through to start shanking down those Hurser as the Minotaur charging forward to try and get a little bit of kills here. Throwing Axeman, getting that shoot and scoot here to pull back. Nice play where that's concerned as the Toxoid is going to attempt to push forward, get that damage done. Hoplites can take out the Hurser onto this position as well. As the Ajax coming in and try and take out the Valkyrie and all the other good stuff. It does look like there's a retreat path there for Grass. I don't know. I mean, at this point, now you're 2 town centers for Soup. You've got back gold mines. You're in a great spot. I think that Grass needs to put his own town center down. I mean, maybe you could go heroic age here and make something happen, but you got a lot to push through. Maybe Njord to push through this position with Walking Woods and the Mountain Giants, and then you can push in onto the back gold mine and be in a good spot. That's a very careful. We're still sitting over here and just repairing this up. At what point does Soup actually react to that and just say, all right. And who's winning out on this position? You're spending about 60 resources a minute repairing, plus the resources to actually repair the wall, which I think that's negligible. I don't even think I've seen it move yet. I don't think it's moving at all. Repairing a wall is free. Free for all. Though he's not getting any of that gold. Maybe it's 2 gold a second to repair this up. I don't know. Oh, that's the wrong person. It's over here. I'm looking at I'm done. Classic. Okay, so it is going down by 1. But then it goes back up by... Yeah. Okay, he's lost quite a bit of gold. According to chat and my silliness, he's lost quite a bit of gold here. Wait, Skadi? Skadi? I mean, I understand the love for the god just from Legacy, but I don't think it's the right situation to be going for Skadi in this matchup. Like, what do you get? I guess you're getting like the huge food boost from Winter Harvest. That's going to be a nice little boost. For those of you who don't know, it affects all food gather sources. So it's a must grab. It's basically the first upgrade you should grab just here, Winter Harvest, when you hit that heroic age. Plus 20%, plus 10%, absolutely huge. But the problem is like no pushing power. No pushing power at all, and there's so much gold on the back here for Soup that you basically have to push through the Hades completely to find a win here. And now we're going to see Apollo coming through for Soup. Maybe the Frost is making sense now, freezing onto the Underworld and then killing the Underworld off. More houses coming down. I'm I'm of the opinion here that with a good Fimbulwinter timing from Grass at this point, I think he can just take this game into the late game, but he's going to hit it first, and he's going to be able to secure the center of the map, secure the 4-2 town center advantage, and then take the game there. Though obviously you got to be scared of the Hades late game to some degree with especially when he's going through Apollo and he's going to be going through Artemis as well. Those Toxotes are going to pack a punch. But Suppe is still... I mean, Suppe doesn't really have another option here. He has to sit back and just wait. So he's giving Grass all the opportunity to do everything in this game. Let's just see the Apollo coming through. Hillfort going to come down onto this position here. Goaty coming forward to grab the spot as well. I mean, do you go for... Maybe you go for portable rams, freeze the army, break the town center with the rams, and then you can kill the army once it comes back, or maybe you can even kill the town center fast enough and build it up for yourself, and then take a fight after everything finishes up there. We're seeing that Sesh Rumnir tech come through. Take a look at this. 106 HP up to 119. It's not a small amount. So those things are going to last quite a while. But is Suppe even really building myth units? He's got 2 Minotaurs. He's got 80 favor in the bank. That's a restoration here. Don't kill the shrine. Oh, Raiding Cavalry have snuck through. Suppe does notice a bit. Too little. Too late. Going to kill off a whole bunch of villagers on that back position. He's trying to push forward right now. Kind of forced to, in a way. The Toxotes are going to do a huge amount of damage. And we do see a lot of Minotaurs queued up now for Suppe as he decides, nope, it's not going to be restoration here. It's going to be Minotaurs. As half of the army getting frozen up here. And this is a little something for you guys. And this is the new frost usage, apparently. You clean up all the units that don't get frosted. The units on the back here are not going to be able to do all too much. I love that usage. This is something Udesla was talking about recently. In that if you got any stasis effects that make the units invincible, it's better to use that frost on half the army. Insane usage there for Grass, as he's going to be able to completely clean up half the army, but does mean the rest will live, though I think that it's going to get cleaned up very quickly after the frost is done. And after all of my comments about Frost not being able to have any pushing power, Grass has definitely shown me how incorrect I am. And Frost does finish up there. The Minotaurs are coming through. It doesn't look like there's a whole bunch of... Well, there are some Grody on the front here. He's got to micro those quickly. But the Hoplites are going to get taken out incredibly quickly. Grass now going to be doing a little bit of the shoot and scoot micro to stay back away from the Hoplites and keep everyone nice and healthy here. But population is staying fairly solid here for Grass moving forward. And in that moment, Suppe says, well, that's GG. That was a pretty insane sequence from Grass. He's just sitting there waiting, biding his time. Suppe, I think he makes somewhat of a mistake pushing forward. Sure, the units sneak in onto the back position here, but just pull back and defend this and then keep going. I think that's your game plan, is to try and get to either an underworld play, or maybe you go for the underworld play instead of this push forward, and then you go for Artemis, and then you get the strong Toxotes, and then you just try and play the late game out. I don't really see another option here, but well played by Grass nonetheless. Take a quick look at this post game. It's going to tell you a very big story of economic dominance from one player here. As you can see, that Grass just goes through to the stratosphere, and a lot of this is actually just playing as Norse. And you even see this here. Suppe is well in front on villages, but the Norse eco, very, very strong. And nonetheless, if you guys enjoyed this game, please consider the follow on Twitch. If you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, game number 3 coming at you here in the right-hand corner of the map, playing as Isis. His name is Grass. In the left-hand corner of the map, playing as Loki, his name is Suppe. And it's all starting to become apparent now. These two players, very, very closely matched in this series here. And Suppe, I love this pick. I absolutely love this pick. There are a lot of players who think Greek is really good here. There are a lot of players who think Egyptian is really good here. There's no one, or there's a lot of players who think Gaia is really good here. There's nobody who really thinks that Norse is a solid pick on this map for whatever reason. Personally, in my experience, there is nothing that tells me that Loki isn't a top pick on this map. A top tier pick on this map. The reason why is because you get your food eco boosted by the fishing ships. And that means you can build yourself a ton of HUSKSUPPE, a ton of raiding cavalry, a ton of berserks, whatever you want, you can get those out. Your opponent might want to go for hoplites, he might want to go for spearmen, he might want to go for Mermillo, but the HUSKSUPPE are so good. The berserks are so good. Plus, then you also get all the mid unit spawns, and the flaming weapons timing on the second gold mine is always going to be a very, very challenging time to be anybody, let alone an Egyptian. We'll see what's going to happen here. Oh, I was made known. I was made known that Suppe would do this. This is why I'm look at this. A little certain Supinator says it's time for some ox carts. Why go for multiple docks when you can just make ox carts at 50 resources? Why go for multiple docks? Well, there are some reasons for this. We've got docks. Wow, that's some aggressive docking coming through for Grass, claiming both sides of the map there. But Suppe, he effectively gets himself these fishing spots super efficient from the get-go, and he's still building more ox carts, moving for another ox cart. Now, this isn't as good as Odin, Thor, Freyr, because those gods, they pay 100 resources for those ox carts, but as Loki, 50 resources? And these things cost 0 population. We've got the dock coming up onto this position. More docks coming up. Fishing ship boom is still on the way in a big way here for Grass. Suppe, on the other hand, I haven't seen him putting up a temple just yet. Did I miss it in the main base? No, it's not. Oh, no, never mind. It is here. So he might be going... Oh, there we go. He's already gone to the next stage. And he's going through Heimdall. Okay, this isn't why I would pick... This is now confusing me. The Heimdall pick is confusing me. Let's try and work this out. We're seeing Bast. I'm not surprised about Bast. I can explain Bast. Okay, guys. The reason for the Bast pick here from Grass is because he wants to use Ancestors Eclipse. See, I'm very, very clever. I know how that works. But Heimdall, what is this going to get? Okay, so one thing you can get is undermining the main base, and the Monument to the Villagers doesn't really protect you from the undermine, because you can use it on the back and go all the way through here and hit both of the towers. It's not really possible to deny an undermine in the main base. So this could just be a Heimdall rush from Suppe. And Suppe's Heimdall rushes are some of the most fierce in all of the land. And he's going for it. Because why not? Because why not go for it? Great Hall, Longhouse in the center of the map. Grass, no idea what's happening. He sees the Iron Harry coming forward, but he's going to be retreating here. As we've got ourselves a barracks coming up. I mean, Suppe can just undermine this. He doesn't need to kill this. He just undermine, stop the barracks, and that's exactly what he's going to do. Will the tower on the back side get hit? Will these market and armory get hit? This is definitely going to get denied. That's going to be like 40 gold down the drain, and it's not going to quite make it. Barracks is going to get thrown back up yet again, And Suppe is now throwing down even more buildings. He is about to shock Grass with an insanely powerful rush. Going to deny the barracks for a second time here as the Einherry moving forward. He can start tanking here as well, but the temple going to get taken out. Lots and lots of resources in the bank here for Grass as he's trying to go to the heroic age here. He might be able to make it, but even so, then you have to deal with all of the units that are coming through. Fair are going to attempt to get that defense in, take out that Einherry on this spot. Does so much damage there. Suppe not retreating away just yet. Does manage to get away on that spot, but now going to be pulling back in to continue harassing this position. Got the throw on Axeman onto the back there as that boosted damage onto the villager manages to snipe that one down as the throw on Axeman can also go after this fairly low range, 12 range Pharaoh at the moment. The temple is not going to last here, it looks like, but the Einherry goes down. We are seeing some slingers coming in. The throw and action going to be able to get that damage onto the villagers, sniping that down. Grass, good pullback micro, keeping the villager from falling there as the throw and axeman still going after the Pharaoh. We are seeing Nephthys coming in. This is incredibly greedy from Grass to feel like he can hold this. The units overwhelming onto this position now as the villagers are all getting pushed off of the gold mine. And now we also see not Sesrumner, but Griggs Thula coming through here. This technology has one of two kind of immense perks. One is that it's going to boost your or reduce your age up, which it looks like Suppe is going for. He's not really spamming units anymore. And two, it's going to increase your villager train time here by a lot, as well as everything else. Everything gets a 20% boost in build rate, train rate, research rate, whatever you want to call it. I wouldn't be surprised to see a Bragi coming very, very shortly here. But Grass pushed off. He's got enough gold in the bank here to throw a Migdol down as a temple comes up. That's going to get him that Scorpion Man. And a Migdol stronghold going to be coming through. And there's the Bragi. So Rigstula takes like 20 seconds to research or something, but takes off 20% of the Bragi, which is basically like you haven't lost anything on the research time because you're advancing at like 60 seconds or something from memory. As the Ancestor Eclipse is forced, the Berserker can just turn around and take these minions out basically immediately. As you do see the attempt here to turn around from Suppe. He's got so many Hersa here. He's not terrified of these myth units in the slightest. Camel Riders trying to come out here for Grass as well as the Throw and Axemen doing their best to try and hold on. You also have to remember that there's probably going to be a Leviathan going for the fishing ships of Suppe very, very shortly as well. As Suppe managing to kind of hold here. He's trying to pump out the units as well, but it's going to be a slow slog. As Grass is going to be able to push back for the time being. He's able to get himself this gold mine. But now there's Bragi. And now there's a problem that is going to be very, very apparent very, very shortly. Great Hall's coming down in the center of the map here. Prosperity gets dropped. How much gold? He's going to be able to finish that gold mine off by the end of the Prosperity, but then what? And that's the problem. Flaming Weapons is going to be in very shortly. Raiding Cavalry saying, all right, time to get a bit of a raid onto this spot here to prevent Grass from getting that gold income. Doesn't manage to snipe the villager, but the Raiding Cavalry still taking some good trades here, going after another villager there. Gets one. Camel Riders coming through, and Suppe has to retreat. As now Suppe gets himself up the Great Hall. Still going for Great Halls. I mean, the question is, do you go for a whole bunch of Raiding Cavalry or a whole bunch of Godi or a whole bunch of Hersa out of them at this point? I don't really think there's a wrong answer. It just depends on what your opponent's going for. We do see a handful of Axemen or a Axeman. Yeah. It's not even a handful. There we go. Two. You can pick up two Axemen in a hand, right? That's a handful. That's how it works. But the unit's now starting to push forward. We've got that medium Axeman on the way. As a Raiding Cavalry, going to dodge some arrows for the time being. Pulling back, we see those Chariot Archers pushing forward. A couple of units getting sniped down. That Herdman does end up getting picked off there as Suppe tries to run forward with those Raiding Cavalry, but there's just so many Chariots here. There's another one going to be falling. We do see almost picking off another Chariot Archer, but going to have to retreat back for the time being here. Soup still trying to push forward. You also have to remember here, as flaming weapons coming through, that Grass has been on a lot of fishing ships in this game, but the flaming weapons is going to be huge. He gets an iron respawn. That's gigantic. As the army pulling back into the main base is going to try and hide inside of this Midgard stronghold for the time being here. And the villagers popping through the town center, coming onto the other side of the map. Gonna pop over onto this gold mine down at the bottom side here, it seems. But it looks like Soup, he knows. He's got a spy on the Pharaoh. The Pharaoh has given this away as a Midgard stronghold. Going to attempt to come up here. Population differential is still pretty close. Soup going straight for the Pharaoh here. We've got that Kraken and the Leviathan taking a bit of a fight on that side as the Midgard does end up finishing up here. Soup a little bit too slow. But he does have those herdmen out here to deal with the camel riders, the raiding cavalry onto the back here. Need to start fighting onto those raiding cavalry, doing a good job of it as the Hursa are going to be able to make it through here as well. Herdman on top of the chariot archers is going to be another really, really good usage there. The battle boar is the big damage dealer though on this fight. Population differential is still slightly favoring Soup, and he might be getting himself another myth unit spawn towards the end of this fight as well. Looks like it's not going to... There it is. And he gets a rock giant. That's absolutely gigantic here. Literally, look how big it is. As the villagers over here trying to shank back, trying to get gold income, trying to stay alive. But rock giant smacking away at the Midgard stronghold. Villagers popping back into here to try and defend. Going to be getting taken out. The units turning back around. Going to try and take out the villagers here as well. Battle Boar's going to be headbutting those units back as well. There's the chariot archers coming over here to try and help defend, but now 3 battle boar are in, and the hardest part playing Egyptian against Norse is when you're in gold trouble. They're just going to get a whole bunch of myth units out, and how do you deal with them? You don't, because you got no gold, because you can't build any of those priests. As the raiding cavalry are going to try and move over onto this spot and take out the villagers on the back here. We will see the rock giant unfortunately falling here as the Pharaoh are going to come over and help put a stop to that one. But no gold. No gold anymore. Wait, he gets safeguard and then goes to town. You got to finish safeguard first. Nah. No gold income for Grass. Not even attempting to come back over onto this gold mine for the time being. And Soup is now going to put himself in and out of reach in this game. With that safeguard, you don't see this technology all too often unless a player gets it nice and early, because it's really, really good nice and early. Later on, like getting 25% off gold on a town center isn't actually that bad. And I guess you can go around dropping village centers if you really like. As the army going to be having a little bit of a high five there as both players not paying attention. We'll start getting some damage onto the backside as the raiding cavalry moving down to check out the gold mine. Not going to be anything going on over there. Into the main base here. What's happening? We are seeing a little cheeky raiding cavalry just checking out what's happening on that spot. But the differential in villagers is 54 to 21. That is gigantic. Son of Osiris. Pharaoh, if this was a Son of Osiris, it'd be a different story. Pharaoh will be getting a huge amount of damage done onto those myth units here, as it looks like Soup missing a lot of units here. He's now queuing up everything, and he's going to be able to produce those. Remember, they're coming 20% faster. Insanely quick. As with the help of the ironry, those herdmen move so insanely fast to get onto the chariot archers. I think that Heimdall and specifically ironry may have been slept on. I think these things are insane. If you can get some good horn blows to get the herdmen in, it's so insane. And in that moment, Grass is saying it's time to go to game 4 here, because he's not going to be able to win game 3. Man, Soup with the uniqueness, the creativity, the ox cart. Look at this bad boy. He's just hanging out here. He's just saying, yeah, we'll just hang out. Heimdall taking Grass out of the book and showing him how it's done. The teacher is in, class is in session, and Grass needs to take some notes. View the post game here. Timeline. Check this resource total out just to see how far in front this Loki player was. Oh my god. Civilian unit wise, I think this does take into account fishing ships. It does. So even with Grass having that 18 fishing ship, 20 fishing ship sort of situation and Soup not, he's still so far ahead in just villages here in this game because of all the villages he killed. Insanely well played here by Soup. Grass has to go back to the drawing board. He's going to have to compose himself going into game number 4. If you guys are enjoying this one, please consider the follow on Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game. Game number 4, ladies and gentlemen. In the right-hand side of the map, playing as Thor. His name is Grass. And the man, currently on match point, has the blue Ra. It's Soup. Let's see what sort of creativity Soup can come up with in this game. Now, I know Soup. I know Soup's Ra. I know he likes Sphinx. Are we going to see Wadgets? Or are we going to see Sphinx? Or are we going to see something completely different? The door is wide open here for Ra to come up with whatever strategy he really feels like. So this is the thing, right? This is the thing that I like to bring up. If you've got a strategy and it is the best strategy in slot, what happens when your opponent works out how to beat that strategy? What's the second best strategy in slot? What's the third best strategy that you can use to get an advantage? Does that matter in a tournament setting? Is it just best to just go with the S tier strategy no matter what? Well, arguably everyone's training to beat those strategies. No one is really working out how to beat the other ones. So if you can take your opponent out of book ever so slightly, like we saw in that last game with Soup going for Heimdall, you can definitely make something happen here. But how far out of left field is Soup going to go? Does he go Sphinx Fast Mythic? One town center, just a handful of Sphinx Fast Mythic with the Citadel Center to help defend his base. It's absolutely insane. Avenger Eclipse sort of ideas. We'll have to wait and see. I'm excited to see what Soup's going to be coming up with here. Grass, on the other hand, he is opening up with a fairly stock standard build order here. This is just going to basically be your all dwarf 415 advance time, basically for the Thor. There's really nothing wrong with this one. There's another build where I see people getting out a couple of gatherers early on, but this build here allows you to get yourself copper mail, copper weapons, and also then get yourself that hammer of thunder as well. Really, really nice and early, but it looks like Grass is a little bit on the slower side. Decided not to go for the chickens because he can actually just kill off the hippos and get himself that favor. It's just going to come in a little bit slower than anywhere else. And Grass as well has said, I don't even need, in this position here, I don't need to go for a fast classical age. I'm just going to sit here and go for the latest classical age I possibly can. This is something that B has kind of pioneered to some degree with Thor and with a lot of different gods. It's the idea that a fast advance is not the be all and end all. If you build your base well enough, you're going to be completely fine. Apparently I have this the wrong way around. We fixed it. We've got the names fixed. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I'm still learning. But yes, the later advance is very, very good here with Thor as well. But let's just take a look at what Soup's got. Not one monument, 2 monuments, 3 monuments coming through here for Soup. And he is indeed going to be taking us down the Bast path. He does have a handful of villages on wood, so he's definitely going to be going for some upgrades for those Sphinx to try and make this all work. But in the end of the day, the big question is going to be, can Grass defend it? can Grass work out what's going on? And that's the hardest part. Can the Thor player work out what the Egyptian player is doing and then counter it? Because generally speaking, everything does have somewhat of a counter. And even if you're going for a cheese strat, like a cheese strat's got a counter, your main line best strat's got a counter to some degree. There's always options. We'll see what he's going to go for. Gets that Cryo Sphinx coming out straight away. On the other side here, it's going to be Longhouse. It's going to be Great Hall. I know that when I see Bast, I feel like I'm a lot more terrified of dealing with Sphinx than I am dealing with Wadgets, because the Wadgets are just annoying until they kill my entire army and I resign. But that timing that comes from the Sphinx with the Eclipse and all the other good stuff, that's terrifying because you know it's coming, you just don't know when. As the Sphinx checking out the town center up here, we do see that Sacred Cats coming through. As the Sphinx is going to be looking into the main base here. I'm going to try and take out a dwarf or two. And there's the Cryo Sphinx. And this, or Hierarcho Sphinx, I should say. But this thing is so insane. These guys go from 5.3 speed, and then they get themselves an extra 15%. Now, it does cost a lot of resources to do this, don't get me wrong, so you absolutely need some value here, as the Sphinx are going to be coming through. We've got a lot of Hursa on the way. We do see that it is the 4-SETI variant, as the Sphinx come through to hit those villages. Does not manage to kill a dwarf. Yes, he does. One dwarf down, and the Sphinx are out of here. And Grass now really 100% knows what he's facing in terms of the Sphinx. But if we take a look at the main base here, he's got 2 barracks up. But guess what he doesn't have? He's got no units built out of it. Do we see a sneaky armory up anywhere? I don't. Suppe's just looking around to see exactly what Grass is going for, as we do see another Great Hall. And now we see him say, all right, it's Axeman time. Let's go for that. As Sphinx still taking a look around, can he come over and hit these wood villages as well? Let's see exactly what Suppe knows here. He kind of knows there's wood villages over there, but he has to also respect the Hursa. They are moving at 5.2 speed. Yes, the Sphinx is 6.1 speed, but 5.2 speed is kind of close enough to be a defender. As the Axeman can now start pushing forward, and we see over on this position, the Zebra are going to be coming in. The Zebra are going to be coming in. I don't know what's going wrong with me. My voice is not working. Nonetheless, the one thing here that I think Grass really needs is throw an Axeman. The more I see this, the more I'm like, yeah, throw an Axeman are actually the counter to Axeman. It used to not really be the case because the throw and Axeman were obviously countering the Axeman, but you couldn't space them. Whereas I think in Retold, you absolutely need to build Axeman or throw an Axeman to beat the Axeman. But then that also means you're going to have to deal with the Sphinx wiping out your throw an Axeman on the back. Nonetheless, Dwarf gets taken down. Suppe runs away. He will be taking a lot more damage here, but the Hierarcho Sphinx is going to be able to get away. 6.1 speed is faster than those raiding cavalry, as the barracks units, I still think Grass doesn't know what's coming for him. I still think he doesn't know what unit composition Suppe's got. And Suppe could still be going for a heroic age here. He could be popping heroic age any second here, as far as Grass knows. But he's massing units. Another barracks going to come out. Another 3 barracks to be coming down in the center of the map. A little bit interested as to why he's not placing them into his main base here to get hit by the monuments to the villages. But nonetheless, they're going to be coming through, and that will mean he can spam out those units nice and quick. So now Suppe will take a little bit of a movement forward here. And this is the thing right now. If you ever see the raiding cavalry coming for you, you just pull the Sphinx off and you can take them off, take them out. So the raiding cavalry, they're just not that useful. As the Sphinx coming forward, looks like Suppe does get caught out of position ever so slightly, as those raiding cavalry are going to be coming back in here. We see there's trolls in the middle here. They're getting taken down in a big way, as the Sphinx maybe aiming in onto those dwarves over here, getting a huge amount of value. And now the raiding cavalry are back in, and Suppe does get caught out of position. This is a great fight now for Grass, as look at Suppe's production queue finally start to leap into action there. But the Spearmen here are going to get a huge amount of damage. So we've got the Axeman on the back here, taking out those Hursa. More Sphinx will be making their way into this fight, I'm sure, as Soup now is in, but I mean, can he win these fights? He is in front on the population for the time being here. As the Axeman taking out these units, we'll be seeing the trolls getting taken down here as well. One troll going to be dying. Will he pick off the other one? Looks like the answer is no. And Grass is on the gold mine, but he's feeling a little bit too dangerous over there. Do we see a heroic age? Yes, we do. Bragi is on the way. Is there a market up? There's no market, so we can't do any trading shenanigans. But Grass knows that if he's out on that gold mine and he gets caught, it's going to be game over. But instead, he comes back to his main base. He drops that dwarven mine. And while he's safe for now and safe to get 1,000 gold income, how much does that really get him? It's going to be about 20 units. So 40 population. That's not enough to catch up. He's going to need a market, and he will be dropping that down. I mean, the alternative is to have not built the trolls and try to get himself another dwarven gold mine to place when he hits that heroic age at 50 favor. As the Hurts are coming over onto this spot, going to attempt to defend over here as well. A whole bunch of priests going to be coming through here for Soup as well. But Grass now in the heroic age. And the question is, I don't even know if his army with the flaming weapons is going to be able to win this army. Yes, the Hursa are going to be really, really strong and very, very quickly dispose of those Sphinx. But with good micro, you're probably going to be able to deal with those anyways. Nonetheless, we see Sobek coming through for Soup. I would say I'm surprised, but I'm not really. I think I like the idea of that Locust to get the damage done onto the army. Because when you use that flaming weapons, if all your units then lose half their or a quarter of their HP or whatever, then you're going to be able to take that out. There's a house on the back going to get taken down. Dwarves now starting to move over here. Looks like Soup is going to be noticing this as the Sphinx runs straight to its death. Oh no. The poor Soupian Sphinx. Units here still mustering. We see yet again more units queued up here. Armory upgrades here for both players. Grass has got all of his first line upgrades. And Soup, he is only just missing the copper shields. But he does not need that, though the trolls are going to be really strong here. Alright guys, time to tell you a little bit of a tactic here for the trolls. For your myth units and for your range units. If you don't want your trolls to use the attack at the very start of the fight and just get dodged back on, then turn off the automatic ability, and then when you do see them ready to be used, it's time to turn them off. But we see the flaming weapons coming down, the Locust coming in. Slingers going to be targeting down those throwing axemen beautifully at the back, as we do have that Eclipse get chucked down, but there's no Sphinx left on this fight, as Grass looks like he's going to be able to absolutely decimate Soup's army there. That was huge. That was absolutely huge for Grass. But behind all of this, take a look at the villager differential. It's 17 villagers. Soup's raids here have been absolutely gigantic. He's getting more Sphinx out to move forward. The flaming weapons is just about to be over. Wait, Soup used rain? He doesn't have any farms. I'm going to go ahead and guess that that was a misclick. Nonetheless, the unit's going to come in. Can Grass find the equalization? Whenever you're in front on villagers, the best way to play moving forward is to just delay, lose no villagers, and just get your army numbers up. If Soup can just get up to full population here, he's going to be in a great spot. The Sphinx pops out of the temple, immediately dies. The Sphinx pushing forward over here. We are going to be seeing that cave troll getting decimated over here as well. So both players are donating to each other in this one as raiding. Oh, Berserk's up to this side. Villagers in the center here. Onto the rhinos. So we are seeing... Oh! The rock raid! The retold rock raid is in. The retold rock raid is in, and it is beautiful. It is beautiful. As a Berserk's coming in onto the bottom side over here. Soup does not have himself Skin of the Rhino, does not have himself the survival equipment technology, so his villagers are going to be very, very weak, but not paying attention over here. The Berserk's simply going to be retreating back. Oh, the Sukos is down, and the rock is no longer landed. But the differential in population is gigantic now. And Soup, yet again, he can spam a whole bunch of units out in a breath here. If we take a look at his buildings, he's got himself 6 barracks, and that's just going to be population for days here as he pushes forward, sees the army. The trolls get so much damage with that special ability, sending everyone packing quickly. But the priests here take that out insanely quick. Going to be coming forward as well. Still trying to take out the trolls on the back. Good micro from Grass to pull back. Soup, better micro to change that target there beautifully as he manages to snipe another troll. And what more can Grass do here in this fight? He needs to kill off those priests here so the trolls actually get something done. But the battle ball going to be going down as well. Looks like all the units here for Soup will be falling yet again, and Grass defends for a second time. But the differential in population of the civilian units now has gone from about, I don't know, 10 to 20 plus. It's 25 villager differential right now. And Soup is going to be able to get these units out quick, smart. He is Egyptian. He's making those cheap Rax units, those quick to train Rax units. It's not a slow slog in the slightest. Favor, on the other hand, for Grass is immense. He's got 95 in the bank. And I love the troll spam. It's absolutely correct. I think he needs a second temple or something so that he can actually spend this, get himself to that death ball comp. And even if you're behind on the villagers, if you've got a death ball comp, you should be able to push back forward and find some sort of equilibrium here. But Soup, on the other hand, I love this as well. He's got 2 temples and he's building out priests. He's building out myth units. He's getting everything he needs out of these.
Great.
So now Soup decides it's time to go again. Still building more priests, still realizing that the only real unit he has to be concerned with is the troll. And a heroic age priest, 17 range. Very, very strong. Very, very good at taking out these trolls here. As the Sphinx yet again pull away from the fight and go straight off onto the dwarves where the heroes are not. As the Axeman, Spearman still charging down to try and take out those Hursa on the side there. Couple more Hursa are going to be getting taken down as the priests. Will they be able to take out that troll on the back or not is the big question, but it does not matter because Soup, after several failed attempts in terms of the military battle fail, he finally manages to crack through and push Grass out of this game, taking this series 3-1 and moving on to the semifinals. This was such a scrappy game, but you just see what's going on here. You see Grass manages to survive. Grass loses all of his units, and then Grass loses the game. But that's not all. Civilian units. Look at these kills. From 36 down to 29. From 32 down to 23. That's the big difference here. I think if Soup hadn't have killed these villagers, hadn't have managed to find the kills, Grass would have won this game. At this point, if he didn't lose these villagers here. If he stayed at 36, I think Grass would have been able to survive. Maybe not win the game, but survive and take this game a little further. But because of that big raid in the middle of the big fight, Soup is able to take the win. If you guys enjoyed this one, please consider the follow on Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.